Hey guys, El Flamingo here, your coach of the Kooparoo Crabhammers. Today we're going to go through a draft analysis of my Great Lakes Draft League draft team. So we are in the top division, which is the Superior Division, and we were fourth pick overall. So going into this, I had three mons that I really wanted to get. The first ideal one I wanted to get was Togekiss. If I couldn't get that, I was going to go with Dragapult, and if I couldn't get that, I was going to go with Celesteela. But luckily for me, my first pick in the Great Lakes Draft League is Togekiss. So the Flying Fairy type. I chose this because it can be both a really hard hitting offensive mon, but also be quite the defensive support mon. It has a great spread of stats, having 85, 95, and 115 defenses, but it also has 120 special attack. So it's quite bulky, has 80 speed, which isn't too bad, but it gets access to max airstream since it is a flying type. So I thought this would be a good one to start with. Has the super luck ability, so it increases my chances of getting a crit with it, which helps get through any stat drops, but also through screens on the opponent. And it also has the what's it called? The Serene Grace ability, so doubling the chances of having a secondary effect when you're attacking. So something like Air Slash, instead of having a 30% chance to flinch, now has a 60% chance to flinch. So pretty good mon to start with, and it's where I wanted to start my team building. So since I had the fairy type, my next mon I wanted to be a steel type and start to develop my fantasy core, which is the fairy, steel, and dragon. So I wanted something bulky and something that could work in Trick Room. And lucky for me, this mon can actually set the Trick Room up as well. So my second pick was the Ultra Beast Stack Attacker. So it's rocking the steel and rock type and has incredibly high defense stat at 211 base defense. The 61 HP is a bit of a letdown, but also has 101 base special defense. So is it very hard to take down if it wasn't for the 4 times weaknesses to to ground and fighting. But with that defense stat, you can kind of take some hits fairly well. Also has a 131 base attack, so can deal damage if needed. So I got that as a Trick Room setter. My Steel type is part of the Fantasy Core, and also to be a Trick Room sweeper. My next mon also functions well in Trick Room, and I got it to kind of support the Togekiss. These three really start to cover each other's weaknesses, and it is Alolan Marowak. So Alolan Marowak has the Lightning Rod ability, which draws in electric attacks, which is super effective against the Togekiss. Marowak also doesn't mind taking a steel move since it has the fire typing as well. Also likes to take fighting moves since it's immune to it. Aimed at the Stack Attacker. Has some really good coverage moves. It has its fire and ghost moves, but of course, but also has electric, rock, ground, so can hit you can come in with a variety of attacks. Also has some good status moves in Perish Song and Will-O-Wisp, so can also play more of a supportive role. My next mon, I wanted to start to get like a 2-mon core that could work together. This is one from early on Sword and Shield days. You used to see it everywhere on ladder, and that is Top and Marowak. Hitmontop, which works well with the Togekiss. Gets a Bullet Punch, which can activate a weakness policy on the Togekiss. Intimidate to boost the defense of my Pokemon as well. Lots of great utility moves like Fake Out, Wide Guard, Helping Hand. So just a good, solid mon to have on your team. And it was also my first Tier 3 pick. My second Tier 3 pick helps me complete the Fantasy Core. Pardon me. And also gives me a way to go fast if I need to. And that's Noivern. So Noivern's a Dragon Flying type. Our first double up of typing. I've actually got quite a few double ups, but I feel it's okay with my team. So Dragon Flying and has access to one of the best abilities in Frisk. So when I send it out, I get to know what the two opponents' items are, which can kind of reveal some strategies and let me plan my attacks accordingly. Also has access to Tailwind, so letting my Pokemon go a lot faster than what they normally would. Um, and that's really it for Noivern. It's probably my weakest pick, I feel. So we'll see how much I bring it. I feel it does offer something to my team, but until I can find exactly what I need it to do, it might be banished or it might even be traded away. But we'll see. My next pick was I actually sniped this off someone on purpose because they drafted Chansey, and anyone who plays VGC knows the Chansey Shuckle strat, and I happened to be one pick before him, so I picked up a tier 5 in Shuckle. So why is Shuckle so cancerous? It has a 230 base defense and 230 base special defense, and only 10 base attack and special attack. And what this allows it to do is use two moves in particular in guard split. So it averages out Shuckles and the target's defense stats, and then that becomes a new defense stat for both of them. And so Shuckle having such a high defense stat, you can actually start to make your own Pokemon really bulky. But it also has guard split, which with that base 10 attack and special attack lets you dramatically nerf the opponent's, especially Maxmon. So again, it averages out the attack and special attack of the two Pokemon, and that becomes the new stat for both of them. So this could be a good strategy just to nerf my opponent or bolster my own defenses. And also, it means I don't have to go against Chansey Shuckle. Next one is I started to not worry about typing so much here, but I just wanted a strategy that I could go with. That you look at my team and you go, shit, I have to plan for this, because if I don't plan for this, I'm going to be busted. So I went for my second tier 2 pick, which is Indeedee Male. So most people know Indeedee Female because it has the Follow Me. Indeedee Male is more offensive. It doesn't get access to Follow Me, but has access to Trick Room and After You. But it also sets up the Psychic Terrain, which, there's some counter synergy there between Hitmontop and Indeedee Male with the Psychic Terrain stopping priority moves on grounded mons. But, we can work around that. And I feel even if Hitmontop's on my team, it can still do other things. It can still wide guard, helping hand, close combat, intimidate. So yes, there is a bit of counter strategy there, but it's okay. Indeedee Male is also going to be another big damage dealer for me. Getting that expanding force under Psychic Terrain is going to be huge, especially since I have two of the main wide guard users. It's going to be hard to block my expanding forces. So with Indeedee, I wanted to pair it with something that could take advantage of that Psychic Terrain. And so this is my second double up in typing, is I got the Fairy type Slurpuff. So Slurpuff has the Unburden ability. So when it consumes an item, its speed is doubled. So you can slap a Psychic Seed on it, and when the Psychic Terrain activates, it can go extremely fast and get off a lot of annoying status moves that can help, particularly the Indeedee out. So that is Slurpuff. Also can do some other nifty stuff, but I'm not going to reveal that now. But you can probably guess what it can do based on my other mons. So we got getting down to, so that was my first tier 4, and I kind of didn't know what I wanted to go for after this, so I thought, why not just complete some of my 3-type cores? So I have my Fire type in Marowak. I wanted a Defiant or a competitive mon, but also wanted a Grass type. So I went with a contrary Pokemon rather than a Defiant Pokemon, which kind of still acts the same. So I went with Lurantis. So Lurantis is a Grass type, so it is adding to my Fire Water Grass core and has the ability Contrary. So whenever I get a stat drop, it actually becomes a stat increase. Whenever I get a stat increase, it actually becomes a stat drop. So if they have an Intimidate mon, instead of going -1 attack, I get +1 attack. when I use a move like Leaf Storm, instead of getting -2 special attack, I get +2 special attack. So you can use this yourself to what's the word I'm looking for? You can use this yourself to boost your own Lurantis' attacks through Superpower, which is another move it gets where every time you use it, you lose 1 attack, you lose 1 defense. But because Lurantis has a contrary ability, I get +1 attack, +1 defense. So it gives me my own little Defiant Mon while letting me complete my Fire, Water, Grass core. Next, I am pretty slow. I have one Pokemon that's based over base 100. That's Noivern at base 124. And then I have Indeedee at base 95. So I just wanted something else that could get me over that 100 mark. So I went with another tier 4 and my second last pick of the draft, which was Dugtrio. So Dugtrio is a ground type and has some really cool abilities. It has Arena Trap, so I can trap the opponent if their Pokemon are grounded. So flying types and levitating Mons, and I guess technically also air balloon Mons will not be trapped, and they can switch out freely. But Dugtrio, I can trap something in with a Shuckle and just reduce their attack stat to Oblivion, or Intimidate cycle with Hitmontop, or even trap something in and they're weak to Togekiss. I can switch out whatever my other Mon is and bring in Togekiss, and they're trapped in with Togekiss, so I can deal off some big damage there. Also gives me another electric immunity to help out with that Togekiss. And yeah, that was about it. I just wanted something that would go fast, and this was the fastest Pokemon that was in the tier 4 bracket, or at least that was left. This last Pokemon has never even been on my radar, but I needed something to complete my Fire, Water, Grass core. I felt I had enough slow Mons, so I forewent some of the slower, bulkier water types that were left in tier 5 and went with this speedy little guy, Basculin. So Basculin is a straight water type, but has some really good abilities. Has the ability adaptability, which means instead of getting 1.5 times damage to his stab attacks, I get 2 times damage. So Liquidation is a base 180 attack, but because Basculin has adaptability, it becomes a base 160 attack. So really good at just getting huge damage output. Has Aquajet, so Aquajet plus adaptability is ridiculously hard, a ridiculous amount of damage. It was doing some calcs and actually got pretty close to OHKOing some maxed Mons. Also has Mold Breaker. I'm not sure how much that's going to come to effect. We'll have a look at its physical. Physical. So, does it get a ground move? So it's not really going to affect anything with Levitate. Get Scale Shot. That could be interesting. Drops your defense by 1, but increases your speed by 1. Gets Endeavor. That's an interesting move. Could use that at some point. So he hasn't got really anything that can take advantage of the what's that ability called? A Mold Breaker on the physical side, but on the special side, it has the move Icy Wind. So that could drop the speed of Clear Body Mons, which could be very, very useful. But that's about all it's got going on the special side of things. So yeah, that's my team. I don't think I have the strongest team in the division, but I think I have some key components that can help me win against a lot of the teams. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Just I wouldn't say a quick one, but just a video going over my team for the upcoming Great Lakes Draft League. I have got a battle for the Factory Draft League singles competition, but that is on Sunday, and we're going to be doing it through Showdown because the bloke I'm going against hasn't got the best internet reception. So yeah, guys, if you could like, subscribe, follow, that would be great. We're at 59 followers, 59 subscribers, sorry, on YouTube. So it'd be really nice if I could get over the 60 mark. Haven't quite been able to do it yet, but fingers crossed, hopefully soon. Anyway, guys, have a good one, and I shall see you all soon.